I noticed in a lot of your commentary in some of the major murder cases that you have been an expert on, that shoulder shrugging, while husbands in particular who went on to be found guilty or confessing to murdering pregnant wives or members of their family, that during press conferences, you were picking up on shoulder shrugging.
Yes.
So in our lives, if you have somebody in your life that you think is lying to you, whether it's a kid that you think is lying about what they were doing last night, or a significant other that you think might be cheating or might not be telling you the truth, is paying attention to whether or not they just sort of inadvertently, subconsciously raise their shoulders as they're talking. That is one clue that something's not right.
Yes, not only shoulders though, Mel, it's also hands. So sometimes a hand shrug, it's also uncertainty, or a mouth shrug, like, I don't know what to tell you. So a hand shrug, a shoulder shrug, or this like mouth shrug where you can feel that someone's uncertain, it's hard to describe it here, is indicating there's a hot spot here. We don't know what the catalyst is, but there's certainly something I'd want to ask more questions on with regard to this. If you're confronting the people in your life, stop saying, whatever you do, don't lie to me. Our brain doesn't understand the word don't. And so you're giving them an embedded command to lie to you. And it's 30% approximately hypnotic, more hypnotic than you just saying, hey, during this interview, please lie to me. So what you want to say instead is what hostage negotiators say. And I have mentors. I'm not a hostage negotiator. I have a mentor, Jim Kavanaugh, who is. Uh, what they say is what you want instead is whatever you do today, I want you to tell me the truth. Whether you tell me the truth or you don't, because we don't hear don't tell me the truth. I know more than you think I know. So I'm going to use that embedded command after the don't to say, tell me the truth. So Mel, I'm going to ask you some questions about
Okay.
where you were last night. And
Okay.
whether you tell me the truth or you don't, pause, tell me the truth. I know more than you think I do. Now, last night when you said you went out with your girlfriends, did anyone else show up and talk to you guys?
I'm
And now I'm
scared.
just doing
I'm like
hypothetical.
literally scared. I'm
Hypothetical.
like shoulders down, lips
Like, where
out
was I
now.
last
I
night?
don't know what I did. I think I was here. I think I was here.
So,
So hold on. I want to make sure that we get, so you now are going to watch shoulder shrugs.
yes,
If you are feeling like something's off, if you are then going to open up the file and explore more, you're counseling us, number one, to either start with, I could be wrong,
yes,
or to say, I'm going to ask you a question and you're either going to tell me the truth or don't tell me the truth. It's the pause, right?
that's it. The
Because then
pause
they
creates
hear
that better
the
command.
tell me the truth as the, because I heard you say, tell me the truth twice. The
Yes,
don't sort of got swept under the rug, which is why I all of a sudden got nervous.
yes, yeah. Well, kids between the ages of 8 and 13, the likelihood if you do this, the likelihood you'll get the kids to tell you the truth goes up to over 80%.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called priming. So I'm like, I say I'm hijacking your brain, and then if I want to take it to the next level, I'm going to assign you a trait that I want you to have. Mel, everyone out here tells me you're a truthful person. Is this true?
Yes. Although I'm
So
now thinking, am I truthful? I don't know if I'm truthful. Am I truthful? I'm sitting. I mean, I literally, when you do this, because I think you're looking right eye to right eye too. You're like commanding me.
you're
So you
funny.
can say to your kid or your spouse or somebody that works for you, everybody says that you're a very truthful person. Are you a truthful person?
You need to get them to say yes, because what you're creating is cognitive dissonance. Because if you know that you're not a truthful person, but I just said yes that I am, now we've created this fancy term called cognitive dissonance, which is confusing to the brain, and that's what we want. So, my hostage negotiator mentor, Jim Kavanaugh, said to David Koresh, if you're in the younger side and you don't know about this, was these Branch Davidian compound, this cult out in Texas years ago, in the 90s. And he said to David Koresh was inside the compound on a payphone. My hostage negotiator mentor said, everyone out here says you're a man of your word. Is this true? Koresh said yes. Later, when Jim Kavanaugh said, will you let women and children go if we get your words read on the National Christian Radio Network? Koresh said yes. Guess what? Because he had accepted the trait that he does what he says he's going to do, that he has integrity, he let women and children go. Two by two, he said, like Noah's Ark. when the other hostage negotiator came on from the FBI, no knock against the FBI, but not one other person walked out of that building alive. And it's not the FBI's fault. It was Jim Kavanaugh built such great rapport with David Koresh that he didn't want to work with anybody else. But we had ATF agents die, and so the FBI takes over. Now, by the way, I'm not saying ATF. I used to work for ATF. I'm not saying they were in the wrong 100%. They lost the element of surprise. They lied all the way up to Janet Reno. So I'm not saying that. You know, I don't want to get into that political battle. But assigning people the traits you want them to have. My son Angus, I went in and I said, "You're addicted to video games. You're addicted to video games. How many times have you told your kids you're addicted to video games?" And then we wonder when they're 20 and 30, they're addicted to porn, gambling, cheating, lying, alcohol. Well, the most important person in their life, us, told them over and over and over again they're an addict. So how can we right now assign ourselves a trait? I'm the world's greatest mom, honey, and I just found out how to be even better. We got to start with us. We got to plant the seeds for us first. We're great. And then reframe and reset how we talk to our kids. Say what we want, not what we don't want. Because here's why it comes back to body language. How we are talking to our kids and to ourselves is then going to influence the circle again, what we believe about ourselves, and then the body language and our actions.
So what do we say to them instead of, "You're addicted, you're playing too much"?
I said to my son Angus, "Hey, what game you playing? Some zombie apocalypse." I go, "How do you play? Do you have to kill the zombies or catch them?" He said, "Both." I go, "So you understand the importance of balance. Is that true? Do you understand the importance of balance, Angus?" He said, "Yeah." I go, "Hey, buddy, I thought so." I go, "Even your teachers tell me you're so good at balance. You know, you're always on time and stuff because you're balancing your schedule throughout the day. Is that true too at school?" "Yeah." "Oh, good. I don't know if you know, baby, but you've been playing video games for like 4 hours and your two brothers are swimming in the pool." He goes, "It's been 4 hours?" I go, "Yeah. How about we go swimming?" And he goes, All right. And goes, legit, go swimming. So we're making our lives so much harder, you know, and I think body language is great. And I can teach you to steeple, but if you steeple, but you believe you have this limited belief about yourself that you're not powerful and that you're a loser and they're going to know you're trying to scam them with your confidence and it's fake confidence, then your shoulders are going to be up and you're going to look like this like character, you know, out of a Harry Potter movie. So you've got to believe it. You got to believe it.
But how do you believe it if all you see is evidence that you failed or that you haven't believed in yourself or that you've put everybody else first? Like, how do you create new roots?
Okay. I call this a reset. And I took a class with a woman, and we'll get back to detecting deception, hopefully. But I took a class, have her on your podcast. Her name is Andrea Quinn. Now, I'm from Boston. We say Andrea. She's from California. She says Andrea. She has a new book out. Don't ask me the name. I don't know. Have your team look it up and we can shout it out maybe. So Andrea Quinn. I took this class. She was out in LA. And she calls these moments when we fail or people knock us down good to knows. And if we can do a reset, and she just calls them good to know. "Hey, Mel, I did not appreciate you getting me back focused on detecting deception when I wanted to talk about leadership. Good to know."
Good to know.
Good to know. They're just a bunch of good to knows. I spoke at an event called Camp Powerment. It's a women's based event, and everyone sleeps in tents and in little cabins and stuff. And I spoke there. It's for women wanting to like do a reset. And I spoke there, and at the end, sometimes people come up and they're hugging me or crying. I make money as a motivational keynote speaker on body language and leadership and all that, sales and stuff. And there's like 42 women in line. I'm hugging them all. I spoke for 45 minutes, but I think I hugged people for 2 hours. The last woman, she had big circle glasses, black glasses, circle, right? Short, spiky hair. She had a cool vibe, I thought. She came up to me and she said, "Hey, Janine, you were my roommate in your last class here last year with Sarah." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I love Sarah." She goes, "Yeah, Sarah loves you too." And she goes, "I wanted to stay here and to talk to you because I just don't get it. I saw you speak twice today. I don't get what you're talking about, how it's interesting to people. I don't like your personality. I just don't get what my best friend, who I've had for years, likes about you." Old Janine would have received that, taken it in, influenced my body language, how I held myself, my limited beliefs. My roots would have been destroyed because thanks to Andrea Quinn, I said to that woman, "Had you been there? Good to know. Anything else you want to share with me?" And I walked and wiped it off. I spoke at an event called Know Your Value. Mika Brzezinski puts it together. It's a women's-based event. Before me was Sarah Jessica Parker, I'm not saying this in a braggy way. Sarah Jessica Parker, um, uh, Martha Stewart, and Bobby Brown, the makeup artist. They're before me, and then I'm the like fat girl, size 22, in the back of the room, right? Coming up next, and
Stop.
I have 25 minutes, and I got my stinking thinking coming in. Boy, they didn't get a standing ovation. They, people barely applauded. Like if they don't like them, like they're never gonna like me. No one even knows who I am. I'm not even famous to that level yet. And and I go, Janine, pull your shoulders back. The difference between Superman and Clark Kent is a 2-inch posture difference. Clark Kent, his shoulders are pulled forward. If you pull, not, we always say pull your shoulders back. That's actually wrong. You're never going to pull your shoulders back. You actually look weird, like some type of
I just pulled my shoulders back. The second you said there's a two-inch difference, I'm like, okay, shoulders back. I'm about to get
yeah.
interrogated. Here we go.
We've been taught wrong. Okay.
All right, what do we
If
do?
you pull your shoulders back, it's actually uncomfortable, and you're not, and you look weird. Instead, I want you to think like Tony Stark, right? So Tony Stark has, and he has this circle thing
Oh
on
yeah,
his
for
chest.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. He's got this circle orb that keeps him alive on his chest. I
Right.
want you to imagine you have that in the center of your chest, and a
Okay.
laser beam shoots out of it. If that laser beam, based on your posture, is going to hit the ground, then you're being Clark Kent. If you want to be Superman, where the wall meets the ceiling is a confident feeling. So you just want to take that laser beam and lift your chest to where the wall meets the ceiling.
Okay.
Relax your shoulders, relax those, yeah, much better. And as you're walking, you change how you are perceived. So I'm backstage, I'm in the back of the room. I was coming in from the back, and I'm after Martha Stewart and Sarah Jessica Parker, and I have my stinking thinking, and you can't be negative more than 17 seconds. After 17 seconds, I give my positivity. I'm amazing. I know cool stuff. I'm going to change their life. People in here are hurting. At least one woman needs to know this, that she's amazing. And I do that. And I go, where the wall meets the ceiling is a confident feeling. And I fire a laser beam right there where that wall meets the ceiling. And I come up for my 25 minutes, and I got the only standing ovation for that conference. This girl that no one knew, coming in, size 22, 24, in the back of the room, hitting the stage. Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough talk about me the next day on their show, Morning Joe. I sold a ton of online courses because of it. And all I did was notice self-awareness, notice my stinking thinking, no more than 17 seconds of negativity, say 5 things about me that I love. I changed my posture, and I know things. I'm not here to teach you to be healthy and strong and fit. I'm here to teach you about body language and the power of influencing people and emotional intelligence and loving ourselves. And then I just killed it. I just had a mad love affair with the audience. I made it less about me and more about them. And I'm like, they need what I know. My mother always said, your power is what you give to others.
It's
So,
true.
so
One of
you,
the things that you taught me that I never forgot was this concept called eye blocking.
yes.
And the example that you gave about it being like our own personal passcode, could you explain that to everybody and why this is such an important thing to pay attention to, whether it's in your kids or friendships or in, a relationship with somebody?
Okay, yes. And I just touched my eye when you started talking about eye blocking. So
I
for
didn't even know that. I didn't
people who
notice
may
it.
be watching it, you missed it. I touched the corner of my left eye. And for people who did notice it, so this is your visual information channel. I want you to go back and watch this, Mel. We have to turn up my challenge to you is to turn up your visual information channel. So I touched my eye, and I
Didn't
want
even
to tell
see
you
it.
why.
Okay.
So for me, I'm in Orlando, Florida. I'm speaking today
Yeah.
for this company, and it's 1:03, and I can share with you till 1:30, and I hit the stage at 2:20, 2:15. I have to get mic'd at 2. So as you were asking me the next question, in my brain, I thought, ooh, I better check the time to make sure I'm on time for this paid event. And so you asked me the new question. When you did, I touched my eye without realizing it. And as soon as I did it, I go, people are going to see me touch my eye, and they're going to be writing to Mel, hey, Miss Body Language Expert touched her own eye. You stress her out. She got nervous with you, Mel. I touched my eye not out of nervousness with Mel or her question, but this is the story behind the story. And I wanted to share this with you because be careful of having a little information and saying, aha, I got you. It's about noticing the behavior, and then if you can, ask those powerful questions. There's always that another story that you might not know. And so for me, that's what happened when I touched my eye.
Got
I
it.
love
I
the question
completely
about
missed
eye
it.
blocking. So here's eye blocking. Eye blocking, I have an iPhone right here, right? So
Yep.
right now, you can see there's a code that's popping up, right? So I have numbers 1 to 9 and then 0 at the bottom. I have to enter my code to get access to my cell phone.
Yes.
Eye blocking is you are putting up the code to inside your brain that you don't want people to have access to information that's inside your brain. So eye blocking can be I put my hand over my eyes. I could be adjusting my hat. I could be breaking the eye contact. I'm looking away. So eye blocking is there's something I don't want you to see right now, and I'm putting up my screensaver. And unless you have the code, which I'm going to give to you again, the MIW formula, maybe I'm wrong here, MIW, it seems to me there's something you're thinking about or something you're concerned about. And so eye blocking happens under high stress and high anxiety. People will block. Sidebar, I just weighed in on Gwyneth Paltrow was sued for this like crazy thing that happened way back in, I think, 2016. I was on Court TV about it. And Gwyneth Paltrow gave eye contact very nicely, but pulled her lips in throughout the interview. And to the new person who's listening to my content here with Mel, you might see, if you had seen that lawsuit, you might have seen, aha, she's lying. When we don't like what we see or hear, our lips disappear. We see Gwyneth Paltrow's lips disappearing. I went back and looked at interviews with Gwyneth Paltrow, with Johnny Depp, on Ellen, and a whole bunch of stuff, ABC. And that's part of her baseline. We always want to get someone's baseline behavior. So because it's part of Gwyneth Paltrow's baseline, these lips disappearing, I throw it away. Did she do eye blocking? No eye blocking with Gwyneth Paltrow. As a matter of fact, if you want to know if you're a powerful person, which I know you are, Mel, high status versus low status. High status people give eye contact and look at you when they're listening to you. High status people also look at you when they're talking to you. Low status people look at you when they're listening, but when they talk, they break eye contact a lot.
I do that.
Eye blocking when they're talking.
I do that. Janine,
Yeah?
I do that, but I think it's my ADHD. Like
Yeah,
I
maybe.
notice that I have a really hard time staying in locked eye contact with somebody when I'm talking. I can do it laser beam focus when I'm listening to somebody, but there's something about searching for words or capturing my thought or something. I don't ever close my eyes, but I definitely look up or I look down and then I look back.
Okay, so I want to tell you, and I have ADHD as well, clearly. Ding, 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 ding today. Ping ball machine, I say. It makes you even more likable because it is a low status thing to break eye contact when talking. And so what comes across as when we do that, or if someone's doing that, it comes across as you're not a know-it-all. You don't think you're still a work in progress. You don't think you're better than everyone else. As a matter of fact, Gwyneth Paltrow, by doing this, came across as not very likable. Everyone was saying it, not just me. Like I went on Court TV, I go, listen, I believe she's telling the truth, but man, she is not likable in that courtroom. It's almost like intimidating to not break the eye contact. But you will be seen as someone that has a lower status, like that you're not like the alpha dog saying, hey, I'm the boss here. You've got to do what I want to do. And that's not who you are. You're that team person. You're pulling us along with your journey.
I am really excited to introduce you to a woman that I met over a decade ago. She has spent over 2 decades decoding body language, trained by the FBI and the CIA. She has studied the biggest murderers on the planet in history.